The next step in the research process is to take your stack of note cards and to convert them into something that looks like a research essay. You need to take your index cards and now convert them into paragraph form. However, MLA style says that it's not enough to have a bibliography or a works cited page at the end of your research report stating where you got your information from. MLA style says that authors of research papers also need to include in-text citations in their research report. So by the end of this video, my hope is that you will all understand how to do in-text citations. Let's begin by discussing what these two words mean when put together. In-text citation. Well, in text, that means in the text, in the body of your research paper. Citations. Citations are a fancy word that simply means tell your readers where you got your information from. So when we put the two words together, in-text citations, we're going to tell our readers in our body paragraphs, in the body of our paper, where we got the information from for our research reports. There are two types of in-text citations that we need to worry about with our research reports for the Schoolyard Habitat Project. The first is in-text citation of a book, and the second is in-text citation of a website. Because all of you used either books or websites, or a combination of books and websites to gather your research for your research report. First, we're going to talk about books, okay? Books have basically three rules, and they are listed here on this page. I will read them to you, and then we will refer to the samples that you were given with your note-taking sheet for tonight's homework. The first rule: the author's last name and the page number from which the quotation or paraphrased information is taken must appear in the text of a research paper. So at this time, it's important to remember that even when you have written something in your own words, you are still going to have to provide an in-text citation for that information. Rule 2. The author's name may either appear in the sentence that you are writing or in parentheses following the quotation or the paraphrased information. Third rule: page numbers should always appear in parentheses. You should never write a page number in the body of a sentence in your research report. Turn your attention to the backside of your note-taking sheet, where I provide you with 3 examples of in-text citations that came from a book. Okay? So here are your options when citing a book in text. Let's pretend that I have read a book by an author with the last name Wordsworth. And as I was reading, I came across some important information on page 263. So I copied that information down directly and used quotation marks to show that I copied those words. I am required to include the author's last name and a page number in parentheses. So I can include the author's last name in the actual text of my sentence, like in this first example. Wordsworth stated that romantic poetry was marked by a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, with my page number in parentheses at the end. Notice that the period is after the page number to show that that page number is grouped with the sentence before it. If I don't like this option, I also have another way I can cite a book in text. I could include the author's last name in the parentheses with the page number. Romantic poetry is characterized by the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Close my quotation mark. Wordsworth, page 263. Okay? Perhaps I have not copied directly from page 263. Perhaps I rewrote the information that was there in my own words. Remember, I still have to provide an in-text citation. And again, it might look like this. It has to have the author's last name with a page number in parentheses. Wordsworth extensively explored the role of emotion in the creative process, page 263. Most importantly, what I want you to notice is that the page number is always in parentheses. It is never part of the actual sentence. To conclude tonight's video, let's talk about in-text citations of websites. These are actually a lot easier than books, which is why I saved them for last, because I figured you were getting tired by now. For an in-text citation of a website, you are going to include the first item in your bibliography entry in the body of your paper. So for most of you, that is either an author's name, if the website had an author, or it is the article name, or if you were reading an article on a website without an author. Never, under any circumstances, should you include a full URL address in the body of your research paper. If you want to refer to a website, just refer to it by the title of the website. For example, CNN.com. You would never ever write out the entire web address in a research report. And finally, of course, you don't need to worry about page numbers and parentheses with website citations because they don't have page numbers. If you flip your note-taking sheet over again at this time, you will see that I provide you with some examples of what an in-text citation for a website might look like in your research reports. So when we come to class tomorrow, we will begin to actually write out our research reports. And within your research reports, you will need to practice the information that you learned in this video on in-text citations. Have a great night, everyone.